I like your drone idea, by the way. That's a cool idea. And also, I think, yeah, for $200 million, Government of Canada, for $200 million, I'd be happy. Chris and I will work on this for you. We will get some drones. We will figure this out. We will deliver
mail delivery.
We will deliver to remote communities for you.
Start it up. Let's get it rolling. Big ideas, money folding. Hustle smart, dream so wild. Turn that grind into a joyride.
Get any mail lately?
Not a lot.
Why not?
Did you actually hear that Canada Post came out and said that they're no longer... So I got to digress.
Yeah. Let's start with the preamble for this episode.
Here's the preamble.
This has a Chris vengeance or Chris aggression like label, just warning, just popping up on screen.
So Chris recently purchased a cottage. Okay, lovely spot. I love it. It's amazing.
Look at
it's
you.
on a very quiet road.
Graham? Look at this
but
guy.
what it's got is the mailbox at the end of the driveway with the little flag thing that goes up and down.
Look at you.
But did you hear what Canada Post?
They don't want to do it anymore.
They won't put up.
The government doesn't want to do it, right?
I have no idea. Canada Post or the Union or both or whatever. They won't put the little flag up on the mailbox.
Literally just the flag?
They won't put the flag
they would do like area mailboxes now instead of
no. Oh, you're getting way ahead. Okay. Just think of today, right now.
They won't do the flag.
Do
you know how many Canada Post workers are killed every year lifting the little flag?
Apparently,
so many blisters.
So this is such a small thing, okay? But I feel like when you're going to go into a labor dispute, and why would you want to piss off all of your customers over not like, oh hey, I just put a bunch of mail in your mailbox. I will refuse to put the little flag up so that you can know that you have to walk down to the end of your driveway to get your mail. And that's such a small thing. It's so silly to be complaining about. I actually read that everybody's kind of confused what the flag is actually for, and it's actually the reverse. It's like, if I want to mail something, then I put the flag up to tell the post office to stop at my mailbox to pick up the thing to mail.
I think I thought it worked either way. If the thing is up, that means something's got to happen.
There.
That's always
but what if I didn't pick up my mail and the flag's still up? Like, there's a whole bunch of confusion around this. It's a Boolean true or false.
Shit. Is this seriously an issue?
A whole lot of different decision
What year is it? Yeah, there's somebody, some bureaucrat is like, okay, we need you to figure out the little flag problem. We're going to pay you $150,000 a year.
If the flag is part way up.
A hanging Chad of, oh man, there's a reference for my millennial folks in the house.
Okay, so let's digress.
Millennial and older.
Actually talk about the actual topic.
Somewhere Al Gore just shuddered. Sorry.
So the topic we're talking about today is the Canada Post labor disruption. I think we need to put out there that we were business owners, and when you own a business, you see business through a certain lens. When you've been an employee and you've never run a business, you see business through another lens, and everybody has their own perspectives on these things.
I think a third category is bureaucrats. I think there's a category where you haven't run a business, but you've also had a government job. And I think there's something, especially when you're in a unionized environment.
So all I want to do on this episode is I want to make sure that we're trying to look at this issue from those different lenses, so that we have a balanced approach.
We have empathy. Okay? We are not Kevin O'Leary or whatever saying whatever crazy thing comes to mind.
All right. That being said, let's set the table for this situation. Yes. There is currently a labor dispute between the union and Canada Post.
Yep.
Okay. The main issue appears to be wages.
I know this. Do you want me to?
Actually, set the table, my man.
Okay. Yep. Canada Post has posted losses exceeding $3 billion since 2018.
It's $10 million a day, right?
In 2023 alone, it lost $748 million before tax, a 26% jump over 2022. It received federal lifeline loans of up to $1 billion in early 2025 to prevent insolvency. The parcel share is collapsing. It was once a 62% of the market. Now it's down to 26%. Yep. By the way, they're getting crushed by GoBolt and these little gig economy guys. The irony, I would also just point out that a lot of these roles are done by people who want to fucking hustle. and a lot of them are immigrants. And the irony of this is that during Trudeau, there were a shitload of immigrants. Now there's a ton of people doing these gig parcel deliveries, and it's crushing Canada Post.
Yeah.
Okay, that's another thing. Okay, the union demands. Okay, there's more money always. This seems like a thing. The union is pushing for 10 extra paid medical days on top of existing personal leave, expanded healthcare benefits, and short-term disability benefits. They're fighting proposed operational changes. Canada Post wants to phase out the fixed routes in favor of dynamic routing, so letting software assign where they go. It sounds very efficient, although that's kind of like a weird problem. I'm sure that's a very inefficient thing, broadly speaking. But anyway, they also oppose removing wash-up time before meals and any cuts to rest or health protections. The union accuses the federal government of attacks on public postal service, proposals to convert 4 million addresses to community mailboxes, weaken the 5-day delivery requirement, lift rural post office moratoria, and more frequent stamp rate increases. Okay, so I view the government. Here's a weird one. I'm super, super in favor of almost every government position on this because fundamentally,
Government or Canada Post management?
Government of Canada position. All of the things they're talking about are either efficiencies or reduction in service.
Right.
Because the year is 2025 and not that many people get mail. People do still get mail.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, old people, just the elderly, excuse me.
Yeah.
Like some pay
People
bills
in
by
rural
check,
communities.
but rural communities, I can respect that. There is I would actually say it's gone from being a mass market thing.
Yeah.
Every single person in this country needs mail service
Right.
to a niche market.
Okay.
Very small numbers of people in this country, unfortunately, in very rural places, in particular, up here or the elderly, need mail service. Okay. So the government goes, okay, how can we try to make this work? How can we find efficiencies? How can we find ways to reduce costs? Because again, we're paying like $1 billion a year for this thing.
We're losing
to fail,
Yeah.
basically, to obviously wind down. And so they go, well, let's look at a series of practical ways to do this. The union has come back with, we want to work less.
Yeah. It's tough.
Holy shit. Are you serious?
But I think they want more money as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, it just feels like, look, I'm not against unions and unionizations. Unions protect employees from shitty employers.
Yeah.
And historically, that's always been the case. It feels like the reality for a lot of these postal workers is a lot of them should be laid off. And that sucks. And I really feel for those people. But it's a corporation that's losing an unbelievable amount of money. Let's just put it in the context. Let's say it was a private company. Would it even exist?
No.
Right?
Be long gone.
So like these, I think what I struggle with on the union side here is they are lucky to have these jobs.
Yeah. They're really well paid.
In a lot of cases, they are really good benefits,
Amazing
really good
benefits.
salary.
Yeah.
You know, it has its dangers. You know, I suppose
for sure.
Driving around can be dangerous. Like random dogs. I have a very nice dog, but dogs can be dangerous. You know, all these other things that can happen.
Yeah.
Probably weird stuff in packages.
Yeah.
But like, come on. You're not a police officer.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you're not in the other categories. I think of sort of what I imagine like the broader unionized civil service kind of idea. You know what I mean? And just to me, it feels like if you want to lose all the jobs, like 90% of the jobs in Canada Post, this is a great way to do it.
Yeah.
If you want to preserve, let's say half, you'd be working with the government.
So why don't I throw 3 scenarios at you and get your thoughts?
I would like you to also put
Okay.
your ass on the line on
No,
this one.
well, you've done a good job of sort of table setting the dire situation that exists financially. So I kind of see like 3 possible outcomes here. So there's kind of like overarching, Canada Post is supposed to get mail to people, and especially these rural communities are the most like at risk to if this goes south. So like Avenue 1 is like, what if you kill it and just come up with like an innovative way to accomplish Canada Post's mission? So option 1 is like kill it. What does that look like? Option 2 is fix it. Okay. And fix it means we got to get to like some sort of break even. Okay. And option 3 is the sunshine option, which is we crush this market. We're going to every house in this country every single day. Why don't we eat up the Bolt It and all these other startups. Why aren't we winning that? And then going back and
That's
then the
an
union.
easy answer.
Okay, so let's take option one first. Okay,
Kill it?
how do you kill it? How do you kill it and still find a way to get parcel delivery, mail delivery to rural communities in this country?
I don't think it's feasible, to be honest with you. I think that it's not appealing to private industry to do this. I think you would have to find a way to tie like another organization that's also forced to go to these communities.
Remember, we're wasting $1 billion a year right now on the current solution. What does that buy from a delivery perspective? If you go and create a market and say, we need rural delivery, okay, and you can identify on a map these places.
I guess the real question is,
and you can say, we are open, there's an RFP.
yeah,
Who will
could you do it for
submit a
200
proposal?
million?
Yeah.
Because we'd save 800.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Exactly. So I think there's like an
That's
argument to
interesting.
be made there about, hey, maybe this just doesn't work anymore.
Could you just have like Air Canada do it? They fly to all these remote ass places.
Geez, they don't even fly to Kingston
Actually,
anymore.
that's another like
They
kind of-
send a bus to Kingston now. Like, come on. So like, they're
It's a
not going
nice
to do
bus.
it. Forget Air Canada's not going to do it. But
Yeah.
but no, is there some other way of doing it? And is there something innovative? Is there like drones that we can fly up to those communities to deliver parcels on a daily basis? Like, is there
this is
something
going
else
to
that can
dovetail
happen?
into the third scenario. The union will not allow this. The union can't be a union's fundamental goal is to make life as comfortable and as protected for as many union members as possible. It is a direct like counter incentive to, I would argue, a lot of profitability,
Right.
Which is okay. Generally speaking, we need to protect employees. I think that's totally great. But at the same time, you go to the union and say, hey, we're going to fire half the people or furlough or lay them off, whatever the hell we want to call it. And we're going to buy, 1,000, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 drones.
Right.
And we're going to deliver shit that way.
Okay.
The union's going to be like, no.
All right.
Right?
Fine. On that point, can I make one weird point though? That like, if you think of outside of a union, if you're just an employee, okay, if your company is hemorrhaging money and you're, fighting and you're not getting along real well, is that the day you go ask for a raise?
No, it's crazy. I really struggle. I don't feel the plight
Now look
of
at
the Canada.
Look at the opposite side. Now let's
Canada
imagine
Post
that
worker.
Canada Post, they had said, you know what, we're going to rock on these small packages. We're going to be Amazon's delivery. We're going to crush
It is
this
stunning
everywhere.
to me that they lost or like can't be the option of choice. And we keep going. I'm interrupting you.
Like, and then you go to the government and you say, hey, Canada Post just made $1 billion in profit this year. We'd like a raise. Hell yeah.
Yeah, great.
Hell yeah.
Go for it.
Okay.
What do you
what
want?
I don't
Do it.
understand is why they would want to have a fight when they're in such a weak negotiating position on this, where the contemplation
I
is
think-
like literally shutting Canada Post down.
Fundamentally, I believe this is a form of anchoring. I think they're anchoring because they understand that if they don't take a ridiculous position way down on the other end of the spectrum of like what reason I think we're pretty reasonable, what most people would think is reasonable, then they will lose all of the jobs. And so I think what they're doing is they're positioning as our position is not only do you have to keep all of us, we have to pay us more and we get 10 extra crazy sick days or whatever the hell it is and all these other things so that when they do come to a resolution with the government, they're only firing like 30%.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like they kind of like meet in the middle and they've just taken that really far. The ZOPA, the zone of potential agreement is like further towards what they want. I think is the feeling.
Okay.
President Trump tweeted about our business, and we didn't even put it in our book, Startup Different. Why? Because we were too busy teaching you how to build your multi-million-dollar business. Find it on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle. Can I throw an idea out there for how we like? I like your drone idea, by the way. That's a cool idea. And also, I think, for $200 million, Government of Canada, for $200 million, I'd be happy. Chris and I will work on this for you. We will get some drones. We will figure this out. We will deliver
mail delivery.
We will deliver to remote communities for you. But the second option I was thinking is like, well, what other can you deliver? So first off, community mailboxes, no doubter. So I'm one who gets. First of all, I get. At our house, we have like legacy mail delivered to our door kind of thing. This is an old timey thing. We were grandfathered into this. I don't care. I don't mind walking around the block. I get like no mail. The only mail I get is ads anyway.
So you're getting into option 2,
Yeah.
which is the let's fix it. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be super profitable, but we need to figure out some way to not
Break even.
hemorrhage $1 billion.
Just break even. It's
right?
government, right?
Break
Like,
even.
break even.
Okay. So what do they do? First of all the door-to-door mail delivery is
Over.
history.
Definitely.
It's all super boxes or whatever they call community mailboxes.
Sure.
That's got to do that. The other thing I think they're going to have to do is, right now it's every day of the week, 5 days a week.
Yeah, you don't
mail
need that.
delivery. What about 1 day a week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
All right.
Cool. Yeah.
So we have delivery. You know what? I go to the mailbox. I don't think I would go to the mailbox more than once a week. Like in my condo down the street, it is like a community
I don't
mailbox.
even get mail every day.
Yeah, I don't check it every day. I would only go once a week anyway.
Yeah.
And so I got all my bills online. I'm not gonna
Sure.
wait
But
for
let's
a bill to come
imagine
in the
you
mail.
were-
But it's still 30 days that you have to
Yeah.
answer it. So,
Usually you're
like,
net
a week-
30. Yeah.
yeah,
like
a
for
week
anything.
to deliver, then a week maybe. So then you got 2 weeks to pay it, and you're going to know these recurring bills, like when they're going to
Yeah.
be due and stuff like that. So I don't see that as super scary or anything like that. But I think there may be something around that. Obviously, if you've got postal carriers and you have to go 5 days a week, and now all of a sudden you have to go 1 day a week, you're only 20%.
You only need 20%
of the
of the
labor
workers.
that you needed before. The other thing too is I just don't know if there's like a capacity issue, trucks, that sort of stuff, if there's something they run into there by bringing it down that much. Although I did read that I think it was like 6 billion letters in 10 years ago were being delivered, and now it's down to like 2 billion per year.
That's a lot of
so
letters.
the amount of letter mail has gone way
Yeah, yeah.
down. So I'm assuming the amount of space it's taking up in the trucks has gone way
I
down.
actually think they're two
as
different
well.
people. I think there's parcel truck drivers and
Yep.
then there's like mail people.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I think
So
that-
can
that'd
I
be
give my other piece of the fix it approach, which I think is around the people that are receiving things. So government checks for OAS, old age security,
Yeah, sure.
things like that.
Yep.
That's a big issue, right? Because
Yep.
people need that money. They need those checks.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was watching the news and somebody was saying, well, I don't want to do any online banking. I don't want my banking on computer or whatever. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, it's in a computer somewhere.
Yeah.
Like,
The government's got your
they could still
file and a big journal. They're like, oh, it's Gary
like,
again.
like
you know?
maybe a little bit less risk by not having an online banking account, but like, it's in a computer somewhere. Like
Like, it has to be.
you can't immunize yourself from it. It's more just a resistance to wanting to use a computer to access or do your banking over your phone or what have you. And I think there might need to be some programs or some ways that you say, hey, maybe you go down to the local library and the librarians there can help you do.
Yeah, this is what I was going to say.
online
What other
banking,
infrastructure
something like that.
exists? Public libraries.
Yeah.
Great. You have a bunch of terminals in the library.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for your government Canada, whatever, you go in there.
Because remember, we've got $1 billion a year we can spend
Yeah.
on
That's
stuff.
a lot of dough.
Yeah.
And like you go in there, I had to do online verification for something the other day. Government Canada starting to do this. So you go in, you have to like give your driver's license, or you got to give your passport or something that shows like you are a Canadian citizen.
Sure.
So you could reinforce that with these terminals. And all of a sudden you're like, hey, you can get access to your stuff pretty quickly.
And there's already precedent for it. Like Service Ontario kiosks
Yeah.
are common.
It's just
You know,
like, oh yeah,
so-
you put them in the Staples too. The Service
Yeah.
Ontario is now in like some Staples locations.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there's so much like existing
Opportunity.
physical infrastructure
Yeah.
that makes it so like. I think broadly speaking though too, there's two ways I could see that you could like for OAS for example, like because I
should go
honestly,
right into your bank account.
yeah, like what the hell are we
automatically.
talking about?
I know.
Like don't we like so part of you have to file your taxes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
give CRA your bank account information as you
Yeah.
do your next tax thing,
Make
and then
it-
boom,
make it
come right
mandatory.
into your account.
That's the other thing too, is I don't think this like fix it solution would happen overnight. It would be phased in over
Yeah, of
3
course.
years. So you've got some time to kind of like put the groundwork in place to make it happen. So anyways, I don't want to waste too much time on the fix it one. What I'd like to talk about last is sort of the optimistic. Let's crush it. Let's own this market of door-to-door delivery. Okay. How would you do that if you're
So what I understand right now is that actually, and one of the reasons, because we are startup different, one of the reasons why this is so annoying for a lot of businesses is that Canada Post is the most affordable form of parcel
Right.
delivery and mail delivery.
yeah,
right?
a lot of small
But
startups.
this is obviously
Yeah.
like heavily subsidized. Is the reason for that, and it's probably tied to why we're losing billions of dollars, right?
Correct.
So this is like all kind of there's a reason for that. But it's very disruptive, I think, for a lot of businesses that this is happening, especially repeatedly happening. Okay, so I just want to throw that point out there as kind of relevant. The other thing, though, is that if we're being heavily subsidized, we have employees that are being paid a lot with a shitload of vacation days and all these other things. You're competing against somebody who is working a lot who's hustling, who wants every dollar. It's not guaranteed. They have to deliver parcels.
Yeah.
They are more cost competitive and hungry than the Canadian corporation doing this. I'm going to see that as a pretty big losing proposition unless we really I'm not saying it shouldn't necessarily have a union, but the union better be on board with way improved competitiveness and recognize that you're competing against these guys
that are going to hustle and that are hungry.
The only other thing you could do is maybe as Canada is go to the Amazons, go to the big parcel delivery, the biggest, probably like Walmart.ca and like these other ones, and be like, look, we're going to give you some sort of special thing. You're only going to work with Canada Post, and not to force them, like try to incentivize them to do this and try to get them to move away from these other 3PLs and these other like gig delivery services.
Right.
And so they have to like flex their government weight. But the problem is they're still going to be more expensive, or it's still going to end up costing the taxpayer.
Yeah.
I just don't think they have it in them. Like if you were to say to me, let's imagine it was App Armor and one of our competitors was unionized.
Yeah.
I'd be like, great.
Yeah.
That's awesome news.
Well, so yeah, I think the mentality has to be that, hey, as like workers, okay, you're going to do the exact same thing that you're doing. You're going to drive the same route. You're going to stop at the same houses. That you may just have more packages that you're dropping off at those. And I don't understand. It might be that there's a lot of resistance to this, and there may be like an operational side of it that it's more difficult than I'm realizing. Probably
I'm
is.
sure, definitely.
There's probably some. There's got to be a reason for the pushback.
I recognize
right?
that. Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to say to them like, look, if we do want to keep getting raises, and we've got to demonstrate that we can do this, and we can compete with these other people that are doing it at like a third the salary of what we're making. So we've got to be able to provide this capability, and we've got to be really good at it. And like you think they've already got the trucks, they've already got the infrastructure, they're already at those doors, already like got the mailboxes in place. They've, I just don't understand why they don't grab that opportunity and run with it.
I feel like there's also a fundamental misalignment between unions and their corporate entity.
Right.
And that is that the union exists through support of the members.
Yeah.
Members pay into it. So if you have to turn around and be like, hey, members, by the way, in a lot of cases, people are forced to join the union when they join a company that's unionized. So I would just assume it's the same in this case.
Yeah.
So you're forced to join this union, and then you pay in this union for something, and the union turns around and say, hey, we got to cut like half of you.
Yeah.
Like
I know.
The problem is like they can't. This is always what I find. This is kind of a weird thing. I'm very pro charity. I'm just going to say this before I say anything, but I always find it kind of weird because when you think about a charity, their existence is perpetuated. Let's say they're trying to cure cancer. Their existence is perpetuated on the existence of that cancer. If that cancer is resolved, what are they doing there?
Right.
So when I think about not a fair comparison to unions. I don't think unions are a cancer, but I am going to say though that like there's it's just this fundamental broken misalignment where their existence is perpetuated on the members being employed in vast numbers. It even affects their revenue that is going to be jeopardized in these situations. But I think they see the writing on the wall, man. And I think that's why they're positioning their anchored so hard. Is they know that this is over.
Yeah.
Whether it's now or 10 years, it's on its way out.
Yeah. It's not if, but when. Yeah, and maybe they're trying to squeeze the last little bit out of the
What if you were just government of Canada? Here's another option. What if you're just like, we're not going to do anything with Canada Post? What if you're a government of Canada? You say it's all digital. Fuck it. Just fuck it.
So like option one?
Option one, no more mail from Canada. And watch, all the other governments would do it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, now they're delivering nothing? Well, that's easy.
Yeah.
Then you go to Parliament and you say, hey, let's pass the bill that says no more Canada Post phased out over the next 5 years. I
think that union's going to be really regretting that little like flag decision.
It's funny. I always think of libertarians, right? They have like, what are the two things government should do? Deliver the mail and defend the shores.
Really?
Yeah, that's what libertarians always say. That's their minimum of what government does.
Okay.
They don't want anything else from government, right? They're the smallest government possible. Defend the shores, deliver the mail. And I'm like, I don't think you need to deliver the mail.
Let's just defend the shores.
Let's just defend the shores. We need an army. I think that's pretty cool. But
hey, can I end with one small anecdote?
Yeah.
What was the first paid job I ever had?
Delivering newspapers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of know the pain. I had 115 houses that I had to go to. It was twice a week. It was Wednesdays and Saturdays.
How much you paid, bro? How many sick days did you have, bro?
I remember it was.
Did you put the flag up?
No, you know what? It was really bad. I remember. So when I remember being at your house and seeing the Canada Post guy cut across all the yards to drop
Walk
the
on the
mail in.
yards,
They just walk right across the yards, right? Stuff like that. I remember being like a 13-year-old kid and having a lady yell at me because I walked on her grass.
Yeah.
And then I never walked on people's grass again. So like if you think of going to houses, it was like road up to house, directly back down, over, up, down, over, up, down, over. And like it was brutal. So I understand the pain of delivering anything. Okay.
I think I wanted to say here too, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I get that. And I think on a human level, like I understand that this would feel really bad to be in this position as a maybe a Canada Post employee who understands everything we just said.
Yeah.
And I'm really not mad at you as a person, but I think fundamentally you have to look at the services we provide and what we do as a country and as a people and understand whether or not this makes sense. And I'm going to also say that losing your job sucks. I've been fired before, a couple of times. Like it is not fun. You feel like a total loser. And I do apologize for that because that's going to suck. But I also think that we just have to make some of these decisions sometimes. Yeah. I respect the work you've done as a person. I respect you on a human level that this would suck. But at the same time, it's just not tenable.
I really hope they take the path of we can retake this market and make this ours again.
I don't think they will.
Well, I'm going to see that.
I see that very unlikely.
I'm going to stay positive and say that
I think digital transformation leads to it being about 10% of its size in like 10 years.
Yeah. Well,
anyway, we'll see. We'll see.
All right. We'll come back in 10 years and see how it worked out.
Yeah. By the way, if you want to direct your hate mail somewhere, don't bother. It won't get there anyway. Hey! All right. We'll see you next week. All right. Cool.
Start it up. Let's get it rolling. Big ideas, money folding. Hustle smart, dream so wild. Turn that grind into a joyride.